Aston Villa vs Nottingham Forest, Freiburg vs Braga, Crystal Palace vs Shakhtar, Strasbourg vs Rayo Vallecano. There is something about a midweek fixture card that separates the serious analysts from the noise. Anyone can talk about the weekend headlines, but the midweek games, these are where character is tested, where squads are stretched, where teams reveal what they are actually made of beneath the surface of the league table. Tonight, we have 4 fixtures spread across domestic and European football, and every single one of them carries genuine weight. Premier League tension, Bundesliga European ambition, Conference League drama, and a cross-continental clash that few people are giving enough attention. So let us get into it properly. Before we do, if you are not yet part of this community, hit the subscribe button right now. Every day we are putting out content built on real analysis, not guesswork, not hype. Just football, broken down with the kind of detail that actually helps you understand what is happening on the pitch. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and let us get to work. Aston Villa vs Nottingham Forest prediction: 1-1 Nottingham Forest win or draw. This fixture arrives at a moment when both clubs are fighting for very different but equally urgent ambitions. Aston Villa have spent much of this campaign trying to consolidate their position as a genuine top 4 contender, yet they have shown moments of fragility at home that their supporters will be the first to admit. The pressure of playing on home soil can work against a side that carries anxiety into its defensive structure, and Villa have had spells this season where that tension has shown. Nottingham Forest, on the other hand, are one of the most fascinating stories in English football right now. Their season has been defined by resilience, organisation, and an almost stubborn refusal to capitulate in moments where lesser sides would fold. Their defensive record stands as a statement of genuine tactical discipline. They do not concede easily, and when they go into a game without fear, they are capable of making life very uncomfortable for any opponent regardless of the venue. What makes this particular matchup so intriguing is the contrast in styles. Villa want to play with tempo and vertical intent, using width and movement to pull defenses apart. Forest will sit deeper than most teams Villa face domestically, compact and coordinated, making the spaces between the lines extremely tight. When a team like Forest commits to that shape, it puts enormous pressure on the home side to find creativity and patience simultaneously, and that is not always a combination Villa can sustain across 90 minutes. The goal we expect from Villa will likely come from a set-piece situation or a moment where their attacking quality simply forces the issue. But Forest will find their equalizer through a moment of directness, hitting with purpose when they get the chance to transition. Both sides are capable of scoring, but neither is likely to dominate this game from start to finish. The score ends level, and Forest take a point from a ground where many sides have come away empty-handed this season. 1 each. Forest do not lose. Freiburg vs Braga prediction: 1-1 Braga win or draw. European nights in the Bundesliga are a different proposition to domestic Saturdays, and Freiburg understand this better than most clubs of their size. They have consistently punched above their weight in continental competition, organizing themselves with a level of collective discipline that makes them difficult to break down and even harder to disrespect on the scoresheet. Their home supporters create an atmosphere that lifts the squad, and they will be expecting a performance that reflects both the occasion and the club's European reputation. Braga, however, are not the kind of side that travels to Germany to admire the scenery. Portuguese football at the top level produces clubs with genuine tactical identity, and Braga carry an intensity going forward that can unsettle even well-drilled European sides. They are experienced in these knockout-flavored knockout-adjacent competition formats. They know how to manage a game across phases, how to absorb pressure for stretches and then punish moments of slackness with clinical efficiency. The dynamic in this game will revolve around who controls the midfield battle. Freiburg will look to press aggressively in the first 20 to 30 minutes, trying to establish an identity early and perhaps force an error that leads to an opening goal. Braga's response to that pressure will be telling. If they manage it intelligently, staying compact and defending the wide areas, they give themselves the platform to grow into the match as it progresses. Both sides are likely to find the net once. Freiburg through the energy of their pressing and the quality they carry in the final third when gaps appear. Braga through a combination of patience and the kind of cutting movement that Portuguese clubs develop through their system. This finishes 1 apiece, and Braga leave Germany with a result that keeps their campaign alive and gives them real belief heading into the return leg or the next phase of the competition. Crystal Palace vs Shakhtar Donetsk prediction: 2-1 both teams to score. There is something genuinely compelling about a Premier League club hosting a European side with the kind of history and resilience that Shakhtar Donetsk carry. This is a club that has operated under extraordinary off-field circumstances for several years now, displaced from their home city yet continuing to produce technically gifted, fluid football that consistently makes them difficult opponents for anyone they face on the continent. That context matters when you assess how they approach away fixtures in England. Crystal Palace, for their part, are a team capable of producing results that surprise. At home, in front of their supporters, with momentum behind them, they can be dynamic and aggressive, particularly in wide areas where they have the tools to cause real damage. The pace and directness they carry in attack is a genuine threat against European opposition that may not be as familiar with the physicality of English football played at speed. The early exchanges in this game are likely to be cautious. Shakhtar will want to assess the threat before committing men forward, while Palace will look to assert themselves through intensity and pressing high up the pitch. The breakthrough, when it comes, will likely arrive from Palace's ability to exploit space in behind the Shakhtar defensive line. What makes this prediction particularly interesting is the expectation of Shakhtar responding. They are a side that does not simply retreat and absorb. Their attacking instincts mean they will push for an equalizer when the game opens up, and they have the technical quality to punish any defensive lapse Palace offer. The game ends with Palace getting the victory, but Shakhtar scoring to make it competitive. Both teams on the score sheet, Palace winning 2-1. A genuinely entertaining night of football with real end-to-end quality. Strasbourg vs Rayo Vallecano. Prediction: halftime 0-0 Rayo Vallecano win or draw. This fixture may not carry the headline glamour of some of the others on tonight's card, but for those who understand what each of these clubs represents within their respective leagues, this is a game with real tactical depth. Strasbourg are building something in Ligue 1, a club trying to establish consistency and identity in a league that demands both quality and resilience. At home, they will want to make a statement, particularly in a European or cross-league context where the opportunity to measure themselves against international opposition does not come around often. Rayo Vallecano, though, are a side that carries a very specific football philosophy. They are built on organization and pragmatism, on making games difficult for opponents and then finding the moment when the game opens. They do not arrive at fixtures looking to entertain on others' terms. They arrive looking to control the tempo, frustrate the opposition, and create conditions where a single goal or a single tactical moment decides the outcome. The halftime prediction of 0-0 reflects exactly how this dynamic plays out in the opening 45 minutes. Rayo will sit in their structure, deny Strasbourg any meaningful space between the lines, and use the ball efficiently when they win it back. Strasbourg will have possession in wide areas but will find the central channels blocked. Neither side is likely to commit to the kind of open, expansive football that produces goals in the first half. As the game progresses past the interval, the question becomes whether Rayo find a way to hurt Strasbourg on the counter or from a set-piece moment, or whether they manage to hold the discipline that keeps the scoreline tight and take a draw that suits their broader objectives. Either outcome works for Rayo Vallecano. They do not lose this game. The half ends goalless, and Rayo control their own destiny as the second half unfolds. Let us bring everything together before we close out. Aston Villa vs Nottingham Forest. This ends 1 goal apiece. Forest are organised, resilient, and they have the mentality to hold their shape even against top-half opposition on their own patch. Villa score, Forest respond, the points are shared. Back Forest not to lose. Freiburg vs Braga. Another 1-1 draw, this time in the Bundesliga. Freiburg bring their European discipline to the home side, Braga bring their Portuguese attacking intelligence to the away side, and both find the net once. Back Braga to avoid defeat. Crystal Palace vs Shakhtar Donetsk. Palace win this one, but Shakhtar make it a contest. Both teams score, the final scoreline is 2-1 in favor of Crystal Palace. Enough quality in both sides to make this an entertaining watch. Strasbourg vs Rayo Vallecano. The halftime score is goalless. Rayo Vallecano's game management and tactical structure ensure they are not beaten. Back Rayo to win or draw over the full 90 minutes. 4 matches, 4 predictions, each one built on a reading of team identity, tactical context, and the specific pressures each club is carrying into tonight's fixtures. Before we go, the biggest thank you to everyone who has been watching, commenting, and sharing this channel with other football fans. This community is what makes the work worth doing. Every single person who takes the time to engage with the analysis, to challenge a prediction or to share their own reading of a fixture, you are what keeps this channel sharp and honest. We are building something real here, a space where football is taken seriously and where the conversation always goes deeper than the surface level. We are grateful for every one of you. See you in the next one.